As I was preparing for our conversation today, it made me think of the federal CIO's federal IT operating plan and those 4 key priorities around cybersecurity, IT modernization, data as a strategic asset, as well as kind of supporting this evolution towards a digital customer experience. So kind of the first question I wanted to talk to you about a little bit is that digital transformation, right? We've seen it, it's not new within the government space.
Sure.
How are you seeing that as kind of changing and evolving?
Yeah, so first of all, when you say evolution, evolution starts with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've participated in the government's digital transformation, we participate in an awful lot of planning, making sure it's containerized, virtualized, and cloud ready. Ultimately, how you lay architectures like cybersecurity on top of it, and ultimately automate it across the enterprise so that you can operate at scale and snap into those operating models. So as you can see, it takes a lot of thought, a lot of planning, and you have to have a structure by which you create those evolved experiences.
I'm curious, how do you see agencies in that evolution of virtualizing the services that they deliver to citizens? And then how are they kind of marrying that with kind of the security aspect of it, things around zero trust, right?
Yeah.
CISA's got this zero trust maturity model or NIST standards. How are you seeing that, and how is Cisco kind of adapting to that?
Sure, it all comes back to a plan. You can't snap in security. It's got to be part of your foundational platforms. So as we look at that, if you start, maybe at 30,000 foot level, it's really about visibility and automation, being able to see it, then automate responding. Then, you talk about data. Data accessibility is one of the government's #1 challenges, whether that be for better science, better research for organizations like NOAA. And it's kind of the oil that makes the enterprise work. So that's where zero trust and kind of SASE, secure access services edge really becomes important. So you take really the concepts or the capabilities of the network and combine them with kind of cloud native security functions to create a platform to make data accessible across any device to any person anywhere, because the perimeter and the modern enterprise has disappeared. So all of those concepts are really important to our customers. We have the platforms like Umbrella to help enable them. And securing information across data centers is really important, as we've done with you all, encrypting at the various classification levels.
You mentioned secure communications in that, and I think that is at the forefront of every conversation with agencies. Can you talk to me a little bit about where you see that evolving?
Sure. Secure communications via any modality is really important, especially in the world of mobility. As we look at the different problem sets or the type of collaboration that we need to sponsor, it does traverse different, in many cases, classification levels. So having the network or collaboration platforms mediate all the complexity of that on behalf of the different constituents or users, if you will, complexity disappears into the background and they're allowed to do their job. And that, you think about command and control environments, whether it be on secure mobile devices, communication platforms, that's happening in real time today.
One of the federal CIO's priorities is around creating this digital customer experience for citizens and for consumers of those services within the agency. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on what Cisco's doing around digital services and supporting the mission as it relates to that.
Sure. I think in an era of digital and, the citizen's primary digital device is their phone. And agencies have certainly opened up the aperture of providing services to mobility devices. So whether it's Social Security, the VA for Veterans Affairs, for things like benefits, the mobile device plays a huge role in giving access. So as such, if you think about Cisco's security portfolio and being able to secure that, whether it's using Duo for authentication, for identity management, if you will, to have Umbrella essentially allow users to come in over any open network and provide for a secure transaction. Successfully digitizing services and delivering them is really, really important. Cyber plays a huge role in that, and Cisco is certainly helping our customers do that.
Let's shift to the worker. So telework is nothing new in government. They've had policies in place for over a decade. But we're seeing this, we're seeing hybrid work, more and more in the workplace.
Cisco has reimagined the workplace to introduce experiences that are seamless, whether you're in the office or outside of the office, to make sure that there's an equitable experience across the enterprise. Whether you're in a remote office, whether you're working out of your home, whether you're in the office, whether you're a partner, wherever you are in your workflow, you can use Cisco's platforms to share and collaborate around data and information quickly so you can make better, faster decisions. And as Cisco has reimagined the entirety of the workplace, using technologies that have been around a while, but extending their footprint, like power over Ethernet to power lights, to integrate control systems across workplace. So a lot can be gained if you have the opportunity to reimagine it from the bottom up as we've modernized our offices.
Recently, our nation codified sustainability in the federal sustainability plan. So I think it's really interesting that we're seeing this kind of shift or commitment from federal for sustainability, as well as the partners and contractors that support it.
So first, let's start with the platforms. We focus on building more energy efficient product and platforms so that we can work with you to more efficiently deploy them, using renewable energy sources, but also managing things like the environment, planning construction of data centers together, and how to take advantage or best use of our platforms. As it relates to our ecosystem, it's including partners that maybe 10, 15 years ago that might not have been in the mix, building control systems. How does that impact how you architect your data centers, things like airflow, distribution of workloads. So our ecosystem has expanded, how we participate in the architecture and the planning of all of those things, and then ultimately the applications we use to ultimately help you manage and operate as well.